Hello, this evening the Hairy Game Lords have been playing the Ragusa. What did we think? Find out! Slightly Bearded James here, and Ragusa is the heaviest game I've played in a little while. And I really enjoyed it because it's...
been playing pop drums.
What? Okay, yeah.
Monopoly deal.
Okay, taking a break from Uno.
Disney Princess Double.
Hey, how did you know about it? Disney Princess Double is probably one of the better ones. No. So Ragusa is a heavy game, but the best thing about it is it's short. By short, I mean it's an hour. And it's a game which is immediately daunting because there's a lot of kind of, I don't know, use of space on the board. There is a kind of elderly blind version on the back, or for people who just want to have bigger icons because it's easier to see. But you're going to be filling spaces all the way across the board, and you've got little houses, you've got little towers, you've got little wall pieces. Essentially, you are rebuilding Ragusa. Well, rebuilding, you're building it because we are travelled back in time to 1500 and something or other. Now, the thing with Ragusa is it is a heavy game. I wasn't ready for something as heavy as this. This is a gamer's game, and it is a very good one at that. The feeling that we were all left with at the end of our game was, this is a game that has been very well thought about whilst it's been designed. It's been very thoroughly play tested. It is a game that has all of the sharp edges rounded off, so it is a smooth and beautiful thing to get to your table. And even though I had no clue what I was doing until probably a couple of rounds after we finished, it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. I think I'd play it again. I think I'd have a little bit more idea as to what I was doing, but I'm going to let the other guys explain what the heck you have to do in this game, because they understood it and I did not. I built a wall, it was amazing, and then that was it.
So it's fallen to me to try and explain Ragusa. It is heavy, but I think it's so balanced, and actually I think very quickly people got the hang of what they were doing. It looks daunting because there's quite a lot on the table, but basically what you're doing is you're placing your houses onto one corner of a hex, and obviously a hex is bordered by two other hexes, so you've got three resources around the place where you put your house. You gain the resources in those three hexes, so you might, when you're building out in the country, you're going to be gaining grapes, wood, olives, stone, and silver ore. If you're down on the coast, you're also going to have access to fish, which are really useful, and Dave will tell you all about the fish. Dave went big on the fish.
Fish king.
He was the fish king. Hipster king, fish king, coming in soon. Then you've got the main city. In the city, what you're doing is, when you're building in the city, you're accessing not resources this time, but sort of additional actions. So you can build walls, you can build towers, which all help with the end game scoring. You build the city wall basically, and you score points for all the bits of wall that link your buildings around the outside. So you need towers and your little houses around the outside in between the wall faces to get your points. You can go to the market, and there's a whole set of ships that come up and are selling their goods in the market, and you can buy goods there which give you victory points. You can you can build a silversmiths or a winery or an oil press, and you can turn your olives, grapes and silver ore into goods, commodities that you can then sell and trade at the market, or possibly you could trade in the wharf, because there is also in this game, there's a whole kind of market value thing. Those wine, oil and silver all have a market value that changes throughout the game, and you can sell depending on what the value is and gain victory points that way. There's bonus cards that you can collect that will give you bonuses for collecting specific things during the game and score at the end. So there's lots going on, but at the same time it kind of does make sense, and it's pretty intuitive. And in essence, you've got, when we're playing as 4 players, you've got 10 houses to place, and that's the game over. Once you've placed your 10th house, that is it. That's it. Game is done, and you score your end. You do your end game scoring. So there's a lot going on. Lots of possible strategies. You can, I probably came into the city a little bit too early, didn't have enough stone, because you need stone to build houses in the city. I'd only got 2 lots of stone, so I could only ever have 2 houses on 1 hex, which meant I was, the big strategy I was going for, I didn't have access to enough houses to do that. So I had to change midway. But lots going on. Really, really nice game. Absolutely loved it. Played it at 2 and at 4. I think it shone better at 4 than the lower player count, but at lower player count, it was a really heavy, nice worker placement. Played in half an hour. Now that's that's brilliant for me. So really lovely game. Ragusa, big thumbs up.
Hi, Dave the Grey. Now, these guys keep using the word heavy, and to be honest, it looks like a heavy game. There's lots of hexes with little buildings, and it really does look like you're going to be sat down for the next 2 hours, 3 hours building a city economy. But it's actually so well made and so tight that it's an hour. 4 of us played what seems to be a proper heavy engine building economic game in an hour. And the rules after the first round, apart from,
I built a wall.
He built a wall. Well done, James. But the rules are really intuitive, and you build a house in a forest, you get some wood that lets you build more stuff, that lets you get a stone, that lets you get lots and lots and lots of fish. We love fish. 12 points worth of fish here. But there's also a follow the leader mechanic as well. So if you've got a building in the wine press and somebody else comes along and builds one next to it, they get to make wine. But because you've got a building already there, you get a bonus round of making wine. If you've got 2 buildings in the winery, somebody builds another one, you get 2 goes rounds. So when I had the market, I had 2 buildings in there. Managed to sell some fish at the last minute, got a 3rd. And when somebody else built a house there, I got to sell my silver for 3 victory points apiece 3 times. And that, my friends, is how you play with an engine builder, isn't it, James? Oh, you can just have a really big wall.
I did all right.
Look how well that works out for people. It was actually just a bit of 2 before stuck in some mud. Did you win, James?
Oh, the wall's still there.
But for what looks like a proper gamer's game, this was a ton of fun, enough thinking, but it played in an hour for 4 of us, and you really, really cannot go wrong with that. I've played games that made me scratch my head more, took ages to play, did much the same thing, and were not nearly as much fun as this. So absolutely hits the spot, makes you scratch your grey matter a little bit. And yeah, it was enough time to play a couple of games in the evening. Cannot go wrong with that. Absolutely buy this game. 2 thumbs up from me, and hit the subscribe button.
Bearded lady here, and Ragusa. Enjoyed it a lot. I have to say, it took me quite a while to actually understand what the heck was happening. And in a lot of my turns, I'd be like, what do I do here? How much is this costing me to place here? Everyone would be like, 2 wood. Like, okay. But as I slowly understood the game, I did pretty well. Came second. Holla! Enjoyed it a lot. Like everyone said, what a great game. Loads happening in it, and only takes an hour. This game will get to the table over and over and over again because of that sort of. There's just so much there. What I really like is that when you get a resource, you don't spend it. You can just use it, and so you're not all the time changing down the dials of changing down the cards, saying, "Oh, I've got this to spend," or "I've spent that." But no, you've got the resources there. It's banked, and you can just keep on using it. Good times. I like that a lot. And yeah, really enjoyed the game, and it looks really nice. So once you've played the game through, what you have in front of you is the city of Ragusa. You have the houses all over, and the colours look really nice as well. Kind of a pastel-y colour. It just looks really nice with the city wall and the different towers. So you've got it's a really satisfying game, and at the end it looks satisfying as well. You've done a lot in that very limited time, and there's some good scores that have been scored. It's a good game. Really, really enjoyed it. Big thumbs up from me. Leader.
If you've got a building in the wine press, what can I say?